All right, guys. This is probably going to be choppy, and especially if I bring anything up, it's probably not going to flow properly. My computer is currently like pretty much maxed out. I'm downloading an extremely large zip file right now. Uh, it'll be all right. But I want to go over an interesting little psychological experiment. And I believe this is relatively indicative of MAGA influencers in general, or MAGA people even in general. Well, no, it's not. This guy's a little bit special, and I'll explain why. So I've got a little. I'm gonna kind of run through a clip, not all of it, of Piers Morgan Uncensored, and specifically, I want to look at Vincent Oshana. He's a recurring panel member on Patrick Bet David's show. A complete fucking grifter, like the most obvious grifter in the game. And so is Vincent Oshana, for that matter. You'll notice how performative he is, how he gets like really angry and like hardcore and everything. And I noticed before he does this especially with like someone says something true, like Bill Burr says something like factually true about Elon Musk, and the guy just he loses his mind and he's like, "What have you done? He's made SpaceX the boring company," and all this shit, like the same old typical stupid argument from the right, like retard central. Um, but I believe when I say performative, I think he is desperately trying to get the attention of Elon Musk when he's doing that. And in this case, he's trying to get the attention of pro MAGA influencers or anyone who has money. This guy is obviously a grifter. Like everything he does is just to paint himself as, "Hey, I'm with your tribe and I will say whatever the fuck you want me to say. Give me money." That's like all it's about. But let's watch this. Again, there's probably going to be issues here, but yeah, this should be a good one. Oh wait, let's start with most Americans can't afford a $1,000 expense. And before we begin, um let me make sure it's not going to play after this. Okay. Before we begin, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. Piers Morgan is an interesting character in that the right call him woke, which is hilariously retarded, and the left call him a right winger. He is technically, factually, based on his actual beliefs on issues, a right winger. He's a right wing person. If you think that he's a centrist, you're probably a hard right winger. If you believe he's on the left, you're like a fucking Nazi. You're alt right, hardcore, like insane, fucking delusional status. Like you know nothing about politics. But anyway, let's before jumping in here, this woman on the right. So what he set up is like his typical style. He tries to push the illusion as if he's like the neutral ground, and he's not. He's actually pro Trump. He will sometimes say certain things against Trump, but he only does it to give the impression that he's neutral. And you can tell because there's so many obvious, like factual things you could say about Trump, but instead of saying them, he'll defend it because he's a fucking moron and he's a grifter as well. His whole show is a grift. But anyway, so what he does here is he's trying to give the appearance of neutrality. So he's like the completely neutral, or this is the impression anyway. He's the completely neutral arbiter of the discussion, right? So this guy here is hardcore right. This woman here is on the right, but she's not even real. She just lies. She's smart, don't get me wrong. This guy, Vincent Oshana, is an absolute fucking moron. This woman is smart, but I personally don't think she even believes a majority of what she says. She is a grifter in a different way. She realizes that she can make money by spewing this bullshit, but she's actually good at it. She tries to like massage words and use mental gymnastics to try to persuade people. She's almost like a salesperson. She's like a right-wing salesperson. You could look at her that way. She's similar to Ben Shapiro in that way. But you'll see what I mean. She just makes up bullshit arguments, and they sound legitimate if you're not smart. But anyway, and then these two are supposed to represent the left. I honestly don't know much about them. I know this guy here has like a podcast or something, and he's somewhat famous, but honestly, I haven't dug into him. I don't know anything about him. But anyway, let's just go ahead and watch this. Look at his face. This guy's unhinged. Like he needs to be in a fucking psychiatric ward. He's fucking crazy. And this is very indicative, as I've said in the beginning, of MAGA people in general. They tend to be removed from reality. They're like delusional, crazy fucks. But seriously, look at his face as she's making this case. And she hasn't even said anything controversial. She's just, this is all true. Like, obviously. See, they think that they're just like being snarky, and to some extent they may be, but it's based on truth. He hasn't actually done anything. He's a fucking moron and he fucks up everything. But so this woman here, she's like smiling because obviously she knows that Piers Morgan is not neutral. He's setting up these questions on purpose because he's actually pro Trump and always has been. So yeah, it's all a setup. It's all like a fucking. This isn't an actual serious conversation, and of course the left wins logically at least. But let's continue. Hold on a moment. Jesus Christ, my computer's slow as shit right now. So we obviously can't use the White House. Okay, daily illegal alien encounters plummet 95% under President Trump. Read a graphic posted February 15th on the White House's Instagram account. An accompanying bar graph showed the number 20,086 next to a photo of former President Joe Biden and figure 1,041 next to a photo of Trump. A 95% drop, a big green arrow indicated. Hold on. Using two different data points inflates the drop in illegal immigration under Trump. The White House pointed us to a Fox News Instagram post that showed a chart similar to the one the Trump administration used. Text over a photo of Biden read 20,000. Yeah, that's basically saying what we just saw. But like the White House's post, Fox News' post is misleading. It uses the total number of border encounters for Biden's last 7 days in office and compares it with the daily average for Trump's first 7 days in office. So in other words, they're lying. Here's the data broken down according to a January 28th Fox News article that cited unpublished U.S. Customs and Border Protection data. Border officials encountered migrants trying to cross the U.S. southern border 20,086 times during Biden's last 7 days in office. That's an average of 2,869 times a day. During Trump's first 7 days, border officials encountered migrants trying to cross the U.S. southern border 7,287 times, an average of 1,041 times a day. That's a 60% drop, not a 95% drop, as the White House claimed in its Instagram post. PolitiFact reached out to U.S. Customs and Border Protection for daily January encounters data at and between ports of entry, but the agency did not respond, of course, because they're hiding shit. The latest publicly available data is the whole month of January. Border Patrol Chief Michael Banks said in a January 29th X post that there was a 55% drop in encounters between ports of entry from the 7-day period starting January 16th to the period starting January 23rd. Illegal immigration ebbs and flows, so it's unclear how long any drop will last. Obvious. Illegal immigration started dropping before Donald Trump's second term. And here's a graph showing that that is true based on the trends. Additionally, immigration experts have often told us that weather patterns, such as extremely cold or hot conditions, changes in administration and policies, or political shifts in people's home countries can affect whether someone migrates. So it's uncertain what causes the drop or how long it will last. During Trump's first term, illegal immigration at the southern border dropped sharply after he entered office, similarly to what we have seen at the start of a second term, but soon after rose steadily month after month. It went back down in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the month before Trump left office, illegal immigration was rising again. The number of people who have evaded border officials started dropping before Trump. Okay. Not getting a whole lot of information. We're just finding out that it's actually unclear, and there's a lot of possibilities here. But we do know that they lied, and they drastically inflated the number. So as usual, Piers Morgan just takes the shit that he likes. He doesn't actually do any digging to find out whether it's true or not. He just takes the White House at their word, which is stupid as fuck, considering how much they fucking lie. It kind of goes along with my point that he's not neutral. He's very much camp right wing. So with that said, look, that out of the way, let's for a second take like the 60% number and say that there's a 60% drop in illegal border crossings. Now, you could say, you can attribute that to Trump and say, well, you can't even actually do that because we don't know, as the article I just read said, that that's why. There's various factors. But for just the sake of argument, let's say that Trump is responsible for that. To some extent, he surely is. So, one, before we even start, notice how Piers Morgan begins with the presupposition that this is a positive thing. Like, he doesn't ask whether it's a positive thing. He goes, can you give him credit for that, as if it's positive? Not everybody agrees that that's a positive thing. In fact, most economists have shown the extreme extent at which our economy depends on illegal immigrants. You may not like it, but that's an emotional problem. That's you being a racist. That's you going, we're white people and we belong here. We were born here, whatever. So it's not about being born because we have illegal immigrants who were born here and you still want them gone. So it's truly about you being a racist piece of shit. Might as well just be fucking honest about it. Just fucking admit it. You're racist. Don't fucking own up to it. Don't lie and fucking play mental gymnastics all the fucking time. My point is, not everybody agrees that cutting down immigration, even illegal immigration, is a positive thing. I'm not even weighing in myself because it doesn't matter what I think. My point is, it's not a given that this is a positive thing. Let's continue. If it will ever fucking go. Come on. That's not an obvious win for America. What a stupid fuck. Like, based on what data are you considering it a win? Again, let's like take all of the questions here because there are a lot. Let's say that Trump caused the 60% reduction, not 95%. And in what way is that a win for Americans? So if you base that on the lies that Trump spread, that they're taking your jobs, absolutely no data to support that because it's not true. They actually did work that most of us are too lazy and fucking entitled to do. And that caused our economy to fucking skyrocket. Now, it's also true that they helped out rich fucks who exploited them, and I'm not cool with that, but they helped your average everyday people because you get fruit, vegetables, and various other services and products at way cheaper prices. Very simple shit. So the point is, even if you disagree with me on this, the point is it is not a clear win. It depends on how you see it. So this guy is a right-wing fucking idiot. Anyway, let's continue. Look at Vincent O'Shana. He's such an idiot. See? He's not neutral. Look at Vince. He has drunk the fucking Kool-Aid. Like, this dude does not have a single independent brain cell. Everything he thinks. Well, for one, what I said before is true. He's performative. He's like a grifter. He's looking for money. But also, to some extent, he's like jumped on board. And he's just incapable of any independent thought. He don't even think. Like, you can't even get him to think of the possibility that some of this shit isn't true. Even if you were to provide fucking cold, hard facts to support your case, it wouldn't matter. He's one of these MAGA psychophants that are fucking absolute idiots. He's fucking, he does not belong in any sort of influencer space. He's a fucking moron. Jesus. You look how Vince is like, nope, nope. That's a fact, dude. That this is not someone's opinion. He did do that. It was a 2-year-old fucking child that was being treated for cancer. That's a fact. That's not someone's opinion. No one made that up. We objectively have fucking concluded this. It's true. It happened. Dude does not live in reality. No one cares, dumb fuck. That all you're doing is showing that you're a piece of shit. No one gives a fuck about fucking illegal whatever. It's a fucking 2-year-old child that has cancer. You are a garbage human being, obviously. And that's why fucking most people don't like you, except for people who drink the same fucking Kool-Aid that you do. You're a fucking piece of shit. What a moron. No, it's not. This guy is definitely fucking brainwashed. Actually, if you actually look at the data, the economy was way better under Biden. And when I say the economy, I'm not talking about stock markets. I'm talking about your average, everyday working class person was treated far better. This is a fact. This is not my opinion. Look it up. It's basic shit. Like, these people don't care about what is true. They just fucking they hear Trump say some shit and they go, "Oh yeah, that's a fact that my God King said so." They don't look up anything. They don't care about data. And this guy's one of them. He's just a complete idiot. He's lying. He's just making shit up or regurgitating shit that Trump or Trump adjacent fucking fascist dumb fucks say. Knows nothing about anything. What an idiot. They're not in gangs. And as a matter of fact, a report came out that over 90%, it might have been 95, but at least 90% of all the people that were deported had absolutely no criminal record at all. None. They're lying. They're making up bullshit. They're saying they're in gangs. We saw what happened with fucking Abrego Garcia, where he showed his fist and Trump acted like the fucking obviously imprinted, like overlaid on top of the photo, the MS-13. They were trying to make it look as if the symbols below the MS-13 meant MS-1 and 3. But Trump is such a fucking moron. He tried to play it off as if it's clear as day. That says MS-13 right there. What a fucking idiot. And by the way, no one still to this day has linked any of those pictorial images on the guy's knuckle and shown that any of them link anything to MS-13. None. Zero. It's bullshit. It's made up. So this guy's parroting a bunch of fucking lies that he was told. He has no information. He doesn't care to know. Then why aren't you making a big deal out of Trump demolishing the Constitution and acting like a king? He literally said he doesn't know whether he upholds the Constitution or if he agrees with the Constitution. He has made several efforts to destroy free speech, freedom of the press. He's went after the press for reporting the fucking truth just because it goes against his narrative. You are not about the Constitution. You're a piece of shit and you're a liar. Weaponize the justice system. The funny thing is, Trump kept making that claim with absolutely no evidence. It's like all they do is project. And afterward, Trump actually does weaponize the justice system. He does everything that he claims Joe Biden did. The only difference is we know for a fact objectively that Trump is doing it. Trump doesn't even deny it. But Joe Biden, it's always just fucking accusations that Trump made up and there's no evidence for it. Every time. What an idiot. No, he's not. He's deporting mostly people who have done absolutely nothing wrong. And not illegal, by the way, like Abrego Garcia. So, yes, I made the mistake of calling him a U.S. citizen. He's technically not a U.S. citizen, but he's not illegal either. He's not an illegal immigrant because the Supreme Court ruled that he could not be deported because it would be dangerous. And also, he is not in a gang. That's bullshit. People just make this shit up to try to sell it so you won't question his shit and you won't look underneath the surface and see that Trump's just doing fucking corrupt ass bullshit. That's why you don't just take him at his fucking word. Look at what he claims and fucking dig into it. You'll find that everything he does is fucking lies. And this guy here apparently keeps on drinking the fucking Kool-Aid. Of course, now he's fucking grifting, trying to make more money. It's all it's about. Anyway, I'm not going to continue with this. I just thought it was interesting. A little psychoanalysis of a typical MAGA person. Um, Again, I did go into it's not all that typical because this guy is like a mixture. He's like a partial person that's like drunk the Kool-Aid, but he's also performative. He goes over the top because he's looking for attention. He's looking to make more money. He's trying to get the attention of Donald Trump or any big people associated with him, Elon Musk, etc. Yeah, but I'll include the link to this if you guys found that interesting so you can watch the entire thing if you want to. Thank you for your time.